Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In our previous lecture, we have learned about function in Python, and in today's topic, we'll continue with function only, in which we will create a addition master where we can enter number as many times as we want and will give the output whenever we want. And we'll see one another program in which we'll see how function can be used as a user authentication function, in which we'll just enter user ID and user password. If the ID as well as the password will be present in the program inside a dictionary which we will create while writing our program, then only we will see a message that shows authenticated user, as we used to see in the login panel of the sites. So stay with me till the end. Let's begin. At first, we'll code for addition master. So for that, let's open a new Python file in pycharm. So we'll open a new Python file over here. We'll name it as addition master. That's it. Now we have to create a function. So for that, we'll use def for definition, and we'll create an addition master. So add underscore master master. Yeah. At first, we'll take a variable t for total and we'll initialize it with 0. After that, we'll take a while loop and the condition will be x dot lower. Now why x and why lower? This x, where this x came from? This x came from the parenthesis x. And why lower? Let's suppose you are a user and you got a message like enter no to exit. So you will write, if you are a genuine user, you will write no like no, and someone will write no like n and oh no. This is also correct. So, and someone will write no like n o no, and few of the user will write no like n and o no. So you don't know what the user will write or whatever the user will input. So let me clear this. So that's why we are using this lowercase. So whatever the value of no will automatically be converted into the lowercase, and we'll check for that only. So we'll check if x dot lower, whatever the value of x will be in the lowercase, if that is not equal to the value of no, then only we can go inside this loop. So inside this loop, we will take t equal to t plus int value of x. Whatever the value of x will be converted into int, and then that x, the value of x, will be added to t. Now after this t, we'll take the value of x from input method. So we'll use input. Inside this input method, function, we'll write a message as enter the number in the addition master, and inside this bracket we will write no to exit. That's it. I think this message is quite enter the number. That's it. Now it's looking good. So now after getting out of this while loop, we'll print the total. So we'll just print whatever the total is. So total of addition master is comma, and we'll write the variable t in which the total is stored. Now we'll just call the function add master. Inside this, we'll again use the input function. So input. Inside this input function, we will write a message as same as we have written over here. So we'll just copy this and we will paste it over here. Let me check. So yeah, everything is looking good. Now we'll just right click over here and we'll run addition master. Now the interpreter is asking for some number, so let's give it 10. Again the interpreter is asking for number, let's give it 20. Again the interpreter is asking for number, so let's give it some large number like this. Again a large number like this. Again some like this, some like this, whatever you want you can write. So this. Now after having so much of sums in this addition master, we'll just write N O. No, we can write it as N and O. So we'll just click enter and we got our sum. So this is everything about this addition master. Now we'll move towards our another program, and that is user authentication system. So let's proceed. So for that, we'll open one new Python file and we'll write a name as auth_user. Press enter. Now here also we'll take def for defining a function. So auth_user. Now after defining this auth user, we'll go inside this and we will create the list of users. So we'll create 5 different users. We'll create 5 different users inside this. So our first user is, let's suppose, Neil. Our second user is, let's suppose, Meenal. Our third user is, let's suppose, Siva. Our fourth user is, let's suppose, Kesav, and our fifth user is Viren. Now we will create a dictionary, DICT. Let's name it as dict. So it's a dictionary, that's why we are using curly braces. Now we will use the ID as the username and the key value pair. The key value pair, dictionary actually uses key value pair. So we are using ID as key and we'll give the value of this ID as the password of. So the password will be, let's suppose, Neil123, and the password of the second key, that is Meenal, that will be Meenal123, and the password of third one, that is Siva, that will be, let's suppose, Siva123. Same like that we'll do for the rest of the 2 keys. Yeah, now we can see that our dictionary has been completed. Neil123, Meenal123, Siva123, Kesav123, Viren and Viren123. So this Kesav is the key and this Kesav123 is the ID, or you can say the password of this Kesav ID is the key and this Kesav123 is the password, and the value in this dictionary. Now after this we'll check for condition. So condition if id in user. Now where this id came from? This id came from the parameters. Auth user has two parameters in it. One is id and the other is password. Now if id in user, we'll go inside this if and we'll go open another if. Let's see. Let's suppose Neil is the value inside this id. As Neil is present in this user, we'll go inside this if, and now inside this if we'll check for the password. So if password is equals to dict, that is the dictionary, and we'll check for the value of Neil. So we'll check for the id. That's it. Whatever the value of this Neil's value is Neil123, which is the password. So if the password will be correct, then we will simply print auth user. That means authenticated user. If this is not authenticated, then we'll go for else condition and we'll just print incorrect password. Try again. Now outside this if statement, we'll write one another else. Now if whatever the id given by the user is not correct, is not inside the list, inside this list, then we'll simply print invalid id, try again with genuine id. That's it. Now we'll go outside this particular definition. We have defined the user authentication program, or else you can say user authentication function. Now we'll just call this. So auth user, we'll pass the id as well as we'll pass the password over here. So for that, let's take input. Inside this input, we'll ask for enter the id, and for second one we'll ask for input and we'll ask for password. Enter your password. That's it. I think we are good to go. So right click and run auth user. id, we are getting some error over here. If password equal to dict id, let me see. Yeah, we haven't put the colon over here, that's why we are getting the error. Now let's run this program once again. So run auth user. Now it's asking for id. Let's suppose case of, and we'll give the wrong password. So case of 1, that's it. So we'll enter. So incorrect password, try again. We are getting exactly what we want. Now we'll run this program once again. So run auth user. Now we'll write Neil, and we'll write password as Neil 1 2 3. So let's press enter. Yeah, we got authenticated user. This is how login ID and password used to work in the backend of every login sites. Now our lecture is being getting too lengthy, so I just wanna end this session over here. Now, if you liked my video, like this video, give a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe my channel for more such video. And keep watching. Thank you all.